So today, guys, I'm gonna be doing something a little bit less exciting since I am actually out of ideas. I'm not gonna play it off as a joke. I'm serious. I'm out of ideas. So I'm just gonna watch some of these anime theories. I'm gonna just see Parasite.
Raid is a free-to-play action RPG for both PC and theory, where we're totally a normal human and not a parasite trying to disguise itself. Anyways, I'm not suspicious. Let's contain spoilers for Parasite. If you haven't watched it and you'd like to do so before watching, that's fine. I just felt a warning would be a good idea.
Yep.
So, as per the usual with pretty much everything I cover on this show, I was a pretty late arrival to the show. Normal, I thought show. Awkward romance story, and a real show focus. And so, I and watch it. Question of the series. I mean, could they have potentially come from space? The design is certainly bizarre, and what the parasites can do certainly doesn't seem like anything that a creature on Earth could do. So it must be aliens, right? Well, actually, no, they're not. No,
I doubt it.
While answering fan mail, the author of the original manga, Hitoshi Iwaki, actually gave a bit of a hint as to where they came from. He stated that the eggs themselves originally resided on the Earth, and were likely blown in from somewhere else by the wind. So no, they aren't aliens. They come from Earth. So there's one question answered, to an extent. And while I'd like to answer the full question, as in what actually caused them to come into existence, I think that needs to wait. There are some other things that need to be discussed before we can give the full
Yeah, I want to keep
where
this
they come from.
PG because
So, we know they're from Earth, but we need to know why they came about. I mean, if we can figure out their purpose, then we'll likely be one step
maybe
closer to
they
finding
hear me
the
out.
full answer.
They want to evolve and breed. I know, crazy.
The show spends an insane amount
An
of time trying
infection
to explain
wants
the
to
purpose of the parasites.
breed and
Why
evolve
do they exist?
and become
Well,
dominant.
I can answer this pretty easily.
I know.
See,
Now,
the main purpose of the parasites
none
is
of them
simply
do
to
that.
survive. Yeah, you heard me right. There's nothing more to it. The ending of the show seemed to imply that the parasites came about because of humans polluting the Earth. I'm sorry to say this, but that's a load of malarkey. Seriously, there's no evidence to support this.
Yeah, no, I
Look
agree
at
with
several of
that.
the parasites presented in the series. Migi, Ja, Reiko, and Hideo don't even seem to care all that much about eliminating humanity to save the Earth. They only care about preserving their identity. They don't want to be caught, and as long as they aren't put in any danger, they don't intend on killing anyone. A lot of the other parasites shown simply kill to eat or for fun.
Yeah,
There's no serious malice at all. Even the first episode disproves this idea. The first non-Migi parasite we encounter is a dog who's eating another dog. The parasites only kill...
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure they would probably kill for like survival and like to gain dominance and like become a dominant species. Like I said, that's my running theory. I don't know.
humans to eat, not because they're trying to purge the human race. The only person that seems to reiterate this idea is the mayor, Takeshi, who wasn't even a parasite. He was actually just a heavy environmentalist that pushed his beliefs onto others without any facts. He genuinely believed that the parasite's purpose was to destroy humanity. So no, Takeshi, you're incorrect. Maybe look for some facts before assuming things. You've noticed then that clearly the purpose of the parasites is nothing short of survival. Their existence is much like an insect, simply wanting to survive and continue the species. Heck, at the end of the series, most of the parasites begin to eat normal food instead of human meat, because that's the best way to survive. Killing people is likely to attract more attention.
Yeah,
the
that's
best option
true.
for survival is to see
But like, I mean, what if they need to eat?
exactly like any other human. So no, there's no extra purpose behind it. There's simply insects intending on surviving. The only exceptions being Migi and Reiko, who both sacrificed themselves for the survival of another. These two were affected by being connected to humans in some way, however, so their minds are a bit different. There is a reason why, after Migi combined with Shinichi's heart, that he suddenly began changing to become more human in his personality. By being connected to a human in some significant way, it's likely that these two begun changing to become slightly more human. So that's why they're an exception to this. So now we're another step closer to understanding the parasites. But the question still remains. What exactly are they?
Maybe they're like...
This is going to sound a bit redundant, but they're parasites. Wow, discovery of the...
Maybe they were created by simple but a small mutation from something else that humans created. Let's be honest, we're humans. We do random shit for fun.
The year. No, but seriously, this goes a lot farther than that. You see, now that we know that these beings come from Earth and that they're much like any other insect or animal, that narrows down things quite a bit. But
No,
don't,
not
you
really.
say. There's no parasites on Earth that can do things like this. Nope,
Yeah.
that's false. Get ready, because we're getting into some creepy territory. You see, there are several creatures on Earth that mimic behaviors similar to the parasites.
Oh,
Limbs, for example? How about the Samotha exigua, or the tongue-eating louse? This creature cuts off circulation from a fish's tongue, and then the tongue gets detached. It literally becomes the fish's tongue after this. Not exactly that far off from pretty much controlling an entire limb, huh? What about taking over the brain? Ophiocordyceps, or the obvious one that comes to mind, a fungus that controls ants' brains, forcing them to climb up a tree and kill itself so it can survive. But there are lots of creatures, and not all of them are a fungus that
yeah.
function in this way. Another such example is the Cystocephalus solidus, which goes through several stages before reproducing.
Yes, they do. And now that we're back, I'm gonna review more like right now.
We have quite a large sum of
You
parasites
can leave whenever
throughout
you
the
want.
Earth, and several of them bear a fair amount of similarities to the parasites within the series. The ones in the series
Yeah, that's
are
fine.
likely just an evolved form of one of the many varieties of parasites on Earth. In fact, considering the translutionist design, it's likely that this variety originally came from the sea, much like our friend, the tongue-eating louse. Chances are, this variety evolved to be able to survive on land, and
Okay, second of all, I have a point against this. They may talk about this, but I don't hate this theory. I just have to make something seem interesting a bit more. Anyways, um, how did we never find out about them? Like, did we just not realize that some weird animals could do some really, really weird things? Okay, they were in the sea, understandable. They were just in a site that we never knew about. But how the heck did we never notice them when they came back, when they came up? And what made them start to attack humans?
to survive, the worms took over the closest being in proximity, and the one that would give them the longest lifespan. While dogs may last a solid 9 years, humans have the ability to survive for much longer, meaning they're the perfect species to take over. These parasites were not aliens. They were likely an evolved form of one of the many variants of parasites on Earth, one capable of hatching and surviving on land, and having the ability to control humans.
Well, if it's not alien, I mean it isn't, but like, then how in the heck? Now, remember about my Ochako theory? About how she is physically impossible because she would have to be bigger than the Earth itself? Yeah, same thing applies here. They're making matter out of nothing. Oh, and they're making metal out of nothing. I know. You're overthinking this. It's just an anime. It's my job, so shut up. How? Okay, that's the thing. Do they ever like become faster or different? No. They never even slightly change their weight. Things matter, and I quote: "Matter cannot be created nor destroyed." Then how does it do that? Come on, authors, get to it. Explain it. If they're not alien, then how?
Their only purpose is to
Boom.
survive. Nothing more,
There it
nothing
goes.
less. Any ideals of them coming to destroy humanity is nothing but a bunch of malarkey. The parasites have no values and no meaning to their life beyond survival, as expected of a bunch of insects that have gained intelligence from humans. And while we've managed to solve several of the mysteries involving the origins and purpose of the parasites, there remains something a bit more frightening. These things aren't as unrealistic as you'd expect. Besides the skin morphing stuff, obviously. It's not completely impossible for some kind of parasite to come along and figure out how to control our brains.
Nope.
Not the brains of insects or fish, but real humans.
Nope, 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 nope. I do not want to know more. Okay, let's watch CBR and their good quote unquote theories. Oh my god. Okay, don't get iPhone. Trust me, guys. They will break. That's a big fat lie. How they have these ads. You've probably seen them. You watch YouTube.
Yeah, bring it on! One Piece. 2 words that send a pained groan throughout the entire anime community. A gargantuan series some have never started, and many are still watching to see how it all ends. Believe it or not, One Piece will end eventually, and there are a lot of unanswered questions and loose ends that we hope to see. The biggest one looming over everyone's head is, of course, just what exactly is One Piece? What will be waiting for everybody at the end of the Grand Line? Well, there are theories, and some are more far-fetched than others. Let's talk about them, right?
So I don't know anything about One Piece. So I'm gonna be mad at this. I'm gonna watch like one theory.
Here, right now. The popular thought experiment for what could be One Piece is the location of the 3 ancient weapons: Pluton, Uranus, and Poseidon. These are the 3 weapons that were capable of great power. Oh, you guys, you're so awesome! Pluton was a ship created in Water 7, but its current location is still unknown. We first hear about Pluton during the Alabasta arc when Crocodile talks to Nefertari Cobra about it. Pluton's location is said to be hidden within the Poneglyph in Alabasta's royal archives.
Knowing the anime, they're probably gonna make some new mythical location for them to be at. Because it would be more fun for them to explore something new and like something hard for them to beat than it's just being it. So, yeah, I'm not gonna watch this. Anyways, I don't even know about One Piece, and I still know that it ain't gonna be anything. Time loop theory, yeah, sure. I'm gonna pause this.
Below.
Okay.
Enjoy the Attack on Titan content on this channel.
You didn't miss anything. He's just giving extra dialogue. No, don't. Yeah, spoilers for most of these.
In fact, there has been a theory floating around the internet for years that the world of Attack on Titan might actually be a time loop, and that everything we are witnessing in the story now was destined to happen and is destined to keep repeating itself over and over again.
How?
Checking 101 made an entire video talking about the time loop theory. It down following. Of that power don't only defy the laws of space and matter, but of time as well. Back when he was first telling Grisha about the Attack Titan power and how it is his mission to inherit this power, the owl, Eren Kruger, talked about saving Mikasa and Armin. Neither the owl nor Grisha could have had any way of knowing who Mikasa and Armin.
Oh my god.
The second big piece of evidence happened much later in chapter 120 of the manga. In
Let's
this
see.
chapter, Eren and Zeke find themselves in the unknown land that appears to be the physical manifestation of the coordinate, the point at which all the paths connect.
That is weird. Okay. Like this.
Aspects of this mysterious place, and he uses this ability to take Eren terrible.
Oh my god, just explain the theory. Give me a second, guys. I'm gonna wait till he explains the theory.
Himself that he must be dreaming. Similarly, in this chapter, he can directly
There we
affect
go.
events from the past, which in turn influences the present and the future. Raid is a free-to-play action RPG for both PC and
I'm sorry, guys, for that.
Does all of this sound confusing?
Yes.
Because if it does,
No, I'm just
I'm
kidding,
afraid
bro.
that
I'm a
there.
theorist.
The very first chapter of the Attack on Titan manga and the first episode of the Attack on Titan anime bear the title To You 2,000 Years From Now and To You in 2,000 Years, respectively. What does this cryptic title mean?
Probably this is gonna be important in the future.
However, if we look at the world of Attack on Titan and its history, the closest that we get to the concept of 2,000 years is the history of the Eldian Empire. According to this history, Ymir Fritz, the progenitor of the Eldian people and the very first Titan, was believed to have gained the power of the Titans over 1820 years ago. That's close to 2000, but we're still at least a century and a half away from that 2000 mark.
And that's assuming that the number 2000 is not just a very rough estimate in the first place. Since we don't really know anything about the history of the world of Attack on Titan prior to Emir Fritz,
It probably
Emir
is
will
just
have
an
to be our
estimate.
starting point. Another reason why it makes sense to start with Emir is this. As the founding Titan and the progenitor of the entire Titan line, if anyone would have had access to future memories, it would have been Emir. And by future memories, I'm referring to the fact that Eren Kruger had knowledge about Armin and Mikasa before they were even born, because I assume that as the Attack Titan user, he was somehow able to access the memories
Yeah,
of
that's
future
fine.
Attack Titan user Eren.
I can't find anything that he's wrong about, to be honest. Like, I'm just gonna turn into like a one of those reaction channels, but for theories at this point. If I keep watching this guy's videos, I'm gonna end it off here. Just know he's probably right.